Hello, in this demonstration I will show you how to join aluminium cans together using a small hand riveter. Now this is just a reasonably priced hand riveter, and I'll just show you what it actually does. These are the sort of rivets you get, and they're different sizes and different lengths depending on how thick a material you're going to join together. This one's quite short. So the riveter comes with different sorts of sizes. So depending on how thick this part is, it has to fit nice and tightly into the particular hole. Now most of them come with a spanner, so you just simply change the heads over by turning the nut and then screwing the next head back into it. So it's quite simple to use. You place the rivet into the hole on the gun or the riveter, and if you open it wide it will slide all the way down. It's got to be tight against the nut head here. Right, so I'm just going to squeeze it so you can see what happens. And what will happen is when I squeeze it together, this part of the rivet compresses and goes towards the sort of the shank or the head of it. So by putting a bit of pressure on it, hopefully you can see that it's actually changed its shape. Now I'm going to just release it a bit, and as you can see it's moved away from the base of the head, so you need to keep that really tight up against this, because otherwise it won't fit into the hole properly and will be sloppy. So I'll just finish it off, and what will happen is that there'll be a clicking sound. And what happens is that the rivet is compressed totally, and in this part of the mechanism there's a way of cutting the steel rod off. So to eject the rod, because it's in there still, just open it out and hopefully it will just drop out of this part here. Okay, so we'll now clear up a bit, put that out of the way. We'll now do the aluminium can. So I've made it difficult for myself. This is probably the most difficult thing you could probably want to join together. And at the end of the demonstration I'll show you how to cut a can up, a good tip on how to cut a can up. Now I put some double-sided tape onto the back of the aluminium can, the aluminium foil perhaps, and I'm just going to use that as a way of keeping it from not moving about, so it stabilizes it. So if I wanted it to go there, I'm just going to stick it there. Now it won't move about, so I can happily carry on, and I know it's in the right place. I've got a sacrificial board here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a point, a bradawl, and just mark a position where I want the hole or the rivet to be. So I've marked a hole here. You can just see it, so it's got a hole in it. Now I'm going to use a combi drill, and there's another demonstration video on how to use these. So you've got to have you must have the right size drill if you're going to use this method for the right size of the shank of the rivet. So I'm using a sacrificial board. I'm just going to just widen out the hole a little bit, and that's one side. and I'm just going to use the bradawl just to widen it up a little bit, and then just check that that now fits into the hole, and it should be nice and tight, which it is. It's a nice fit, and you can see it through the other side. Now I'm going to use the gun, and I'm going to, as I showed before, if I can get it in the hole, yes, is to push that down as tightly as I can onto the rivet. Now I've drilled a hole in a piece of wood, and I'm just going to put it on the end, and that actually helps me stabilise it. So I'll keep that in the middle, and now I'm going to put some pressure on it. See if it's turn the camera, and I'm going to squeeze the handles together, and as you can see, it's made a nice rivet, and it's joined the aluminium together. Okay, that's coming towards the end of the demonstration, and I'll just quickly show you how to a good tip on how to cut an aluminium can, because this is a monocoque construction. I mean, these sort of things are very flimsy, so once you start cutting into them, they start falling apart. So the way I think is the best way for me, I found, is to use a Stanley knife, and be careful with the Stanley knife, and cut on the edge where there's a kind of corrugation or rib. Just insert the Stanley knife blade into the can and just slowly work round it. And as you can see, it's already starting to fall apart. So I leave a little tag, so I just move it away from it and then carry on round. And then make another little tag. And go to the other side and do the same thing. So, and then leave a little tag. Yeah, they do really fall apart. But for a way of recycling material, it's really good. Right, I've left a little tag, and I'm going to go right to the end now. I've moved the tag, cut the tags away, and that then leaves a tag at the end, which will just fall off. Now I have a pair of engineering cutters, and I think these are really good for finishing off. You can use a pair of scissors, but it just ruins the scissors. So this is quite good at cutting. As you can see, the can wants just to roll itself back up. So if you get a piece of pipe or plastic tube, rolling pin even, well, I found that this is probably about 22 in diameter, and 22 millimeters in diameter, and it's quite good at this sort of thing. It's quite right size. So I turned it over, and what I'm going to do now is just roll it round the aluminium, and then do it from the other side. And then that flattens it out. And then you can use the engineering shears, the cutters, to shape it up if you wanted to. Well, that just about concludes this demonstration. I hope there's some takeaways for you, and thank you so much for watching.